Should we
My
start or should we wait
suggestion
for
is we get going, and I've started the recording so we can so those who join late can catch up with the recording.
Okay, certainly. So yes, hello to everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all whoever has joined. And I'm Aarti Ninkar, Executive Director, Global Chambers Goa Chapter. And today I'm delighted to invite and introduce two of my advisory board members who have just joined us at the Goa chapter. One is Ashutosh Karangate, and another is Mr. Milind Anvekar. I can see Milind has also joined. But first, I'll ask Ashutosh, I'd like to introduce him to our entire team. And then I'll ask him to take it over. Ashutosh is a very distinguished business strategist and a consultant with a proven track record in a corporate advisory, mergers and acquisition, and strategic planning. And his insights and leadership have been instrumental in driving success for numerous organizations across various industries. So he is again a very valuable asset to the chapter. And Ashutosh, with this short introduction, I would request you to take over, introduce yourself, and talk about your profile and the opportunities we would like to exchange with everybody here from the Goa state.
Sure. Thank you, Aarti. Thank you for the kind introduction and the brief profile as well. So as you rightly mentioned, the idea of speaking on this forum is one, quickly introduce us and what the company does, which could have a lot of synergies to the objective of the Global Chamber, but also to introduce what kind of opportunities exist in Goa, which can be leveraged by the members across the various continents. So if I could just share my screen, if that's fine, I'll quickly run through an introduction about us and then about Goa. I have about 15 minutes, right, Aarti?
I think that should probably work, 10 or 15 minutes.
Perfect. I'll keep it brief. I hope my screen is visible.
It is, yes.
Okay. So this is about us. So we are a leading growth advisory company aimed at assisting MSMEs, or in US as it's called, the small and medium businesses, in reimagining the business potential. We have about 9 offices across India and a subsidiary in Delaware, USA. We have a US director on board. We were established in 2010, so we have over 13 years of experience and expertise. We are a strong team of knowledge seekers. That's how we introduce ourselves. That includes a management that has worked for Big Four. So I personally have worked for PricewaterhouseCoopers, and many of our management is actually a part of some other MNCs across the globe. And then we also look to operate across our network partners in various other geographies which have been mentioned. In terms of services, these are the 4 areas we are focused on. Market research, both in terms of India and global. So whenever a company is looking at establishing a presence in a new product or a new geography, we do a lot of primary and secondary research around it, analysis of competitors, so that one starts well, they are more informed in their decision making before they invest their hard-earned money. This could be a small business, it could be a startup, as well as we have worked with some very large MNCs who wanted to establish its presence in India, as well as Indian companies who wanted to establish its presence across the globe. Growth strategy, we look at beginning with understanding of their performance. It could be like what we call as a one-time profitability analysis on the performance of businesses. It's predominantly data analytics. And on that basis, we help them, how to derive the go-to-market strategy. How do we map the internal performance with the external market environment? So again, the growth becomes more robust. Mergers and acquisitions is my personal forte. I was a part of the due diligence team of PricewaterhouseCoopers. So we help various companies do their investor presentations, valuations of the companies, due diligence, and the legal agreement. Similarly, if a company is looking at acquisitions or mergers, we do the target identification, valuing them, doing a due diligence on them. So we call it buy side or sell side. And the last piece of it is what really excited me towards the objective of the Global Chamber. and that's more in terms of internationalization. So we have in the past worked with Portugal, and we were in talks with Singapore as well in terms of trying to engage businesses between these two geographies, but not looking at it like an investment banker, but genuinely being aware of the market and doing a thorough due diligence on the market as well as on the partner. And that's what I thought MARCs, that's what we call ourselves in brief, strength could be leveraged on in terms of these international markets. These are our directors. Left hand side is me. Mr. Satish Shinde has got a 35 years of experience into sheet metal fabrication. He has a company with a group turnover of almost about $10 million here in India. And Anita is our US director. So she's on board in US. And she was a part of Texas Instruments and Flex Electronics. And last 4 years were with Wipro before she has come on board. I will not get into the details of this part. I would like to now move to a bit of an opportunities on Goa, which is very close to my heart and Millen's heart as well. And the idea of actually starting or headquartering in Goa was to promote Goa to the world, and also to give the Goan boys and girls an opportunity to actually get some wonderful job opportunities sitting right in Goa. Of course, we have now branched out into different geographies across the country, as I mentioned to you. So I'll quickly run through this. I'll be happy sharing this presentation. We have done this on Goa. It's a very detailed one, but wanted to give you some glimpse of it. So Goa's gross state domestic product, so GSDP as it's called, has grown up by almost 33% in the last 20 years. We are growing or projected to grow at about 4.54% in the next 9 to 10 years or so. Similarly, we have done a per capita gross state domestic product as well, which is again having the same growth rate. A bit of a change which has happened in 2011-12, primary sector was about 22% of our total contribution. It's dropped to 7%, but that gives an opportunity to the manufacturing sector, which has grown from 47 to 58%. Goa is highly service industry base. So if you see, that's 31% has remained at 35% over the period. I'll just go through the more critical parts of it. These are some of the sectors where there is a lot of promise in Goa. Agriculture sector is one of them, where the government is actually very focused on deriving value from value-added products and floriculture as well. So recently there was a huge export order which happened from Goa in terms of floriculture. We are blessed with a new airport now, which has all the robust facilities of an international airport, and cargo is going to be one of the focus areas in that airport. So that really gives us the advantage. Tourism has been our strength throughout. Even today, 33% of the total employment and total contribution to the economy comes from the tourism sector. There's a lot of promise in tourism. The government is coming up with different policies to support tourism, which is trying to move the tourists from the beaches, which Goa is world famous for, towards the hinterland and caravan policy and stuff like that. Education is another big sector in Goa, which has a lot of promise. We are predominantly a knowledge-based economy. So education as a natural premise, it's one of the best states to live in terms of ease of living, and that gives a more security in terms of law and order and other things for children as well. Pharmaceutical, just to make a mention, 15% of India's overall pharmaceutical production happens from Goa. These are manufacturing units predominantly, and that this opens up a lot of opportunities for even the ancillary sector. Fisheries is a big sector in Goa. A large part of the production is exported to different geographies, and with the new airport coming in, this is expected to even grow. These are some of the policies which the government has come up with. Mining has come to a stop for now. It's beginning to be reborn again. There were some legal issues, but mining is again a sector which used to contribute 30% of the total economy. So this sector is again expected to grow, and various ancillary industries which provide support to the industries which I mentioned is something which is a great opportunity in Goa. Just one last slide. This is why to invest in Goa. I'll share this with you, but what kind of infrastructure improvements are happening in terms of highways, in terms of the airport, smart city development. It's a growing tourism industry, premium housing. So Goa is looked upon as a premium housing destination as well as affordable housing. So it's a nice balance to keep. and diversification of economy as well, where the government is also looking at other sectors and the sunrise sectors like your renewable energy, solar, hydro, and so on and so forth. And which sectors to invest in Goa? I already touched upon, but tourism, mining, pharmaceuticals, and biotechnology. Milind is an expert in IT and IT electronics, so I'll leave that part to him. I'll be a novice speaking on this particular sector. Renewable energy, huge potential. Some numbers I have displayed. Entertainment. So as I mentioned, Goa is a service industry strong. So we believe there's a lot of opportunity there. And agro and food processing. I'll stop at that. I hope I have kept to my time and would love to take any questions on that.
It's a really great summary. I'm wondering when you look at Goa and the opportunities from a timeline, from 5 years ago to 5 years from now, how do you see things changing and evolving, and what should we be thinking about for the next several years?
Sorry, that's a very interesting question. We need to understand that Goa does not have a large parcel of land. It's very limited in terms of land, and the topography of Goa is very unique. So you have a lot of forest cover, you have a lot of mountain regions. So you are not going to be expecting a lot of large manufacturing units over here. So what's really happened in the last 5 years and the next 5 or 10 years is, especially post-COVID, this has got really accelerated, where IT as a sector has shown a lot of promise in Goa. Knowledge-based industries, whether it's education, whether it's biotechnology, as I mentioned, a lot of creative nomads have come and settled base in Goa and moving their knowledge centers over here. So your BPOs, KPOs, those kind of businesses, I think will have a lot of promise in Goa. Tourism will always be the mainstay because, by God's grace, we are really endowed with beautiful beaches, churches, because of the Portuguese influence, temples, and the natural beauty. So I think these will be the 3-4 sectors where I feel there's a huge potential.
Are you expecting any change in the dynamics with the new government and the coalition that's forming?
While the government has lost some of the earlier seats which they had in the last elections, I truly believe that they are very strong at the center. And considering that it's the same government which is there at the center as well as the state, which always helps growing the state economy, I don't see that to be a challenge. In fact, a lot of announcements have happened in terms of investments into Goa to further improve the road infrastructure, which I think will augur well for Goa. So I don't see that as a challenge. I feel we are politically going to be very stable.
Got it. Thank you very much.
Pleasure.
RT, do you have any other questions or comments or anything else that you would like to add?
Realize that I'm very happy. Great. I think we have shared a lot of details from your side. Doug, I would like to welcome and introduce Milind Anvekar, my second speaker, and my advisory board member for the Goa chapter. Ashutosh, Milind is a seasoned professional in the fields of technology and innovation with extensive experience in leading digital transformation initiatives. His forward-thinking approach and deep understanding of emerging technologies make him an invaluable asset to our advisory board. So as very rightly mentioned by Ashutosh, I think the IT arena will be well explained by Milind. So Milind, I would request you to take over and introduce yourself and talk about the IT sector with all our members.
Yes, thank you, Aarti, for having me for this particular session. I was not sure, as I told you, whether I'll be able to make it. I'm actually just back home in time to be able to join. And then I was running into some problem with my system, but luckily I could get in. So thanks for alternative methods of technology that allows me to be connected. Yes, I think Ashutosh has done a fantastic job in terms of being able to present a scenario and all that we have. I unfortunately don't have any slide per se. Just probably I understood it to be an introductory meeting. So, just about
Yes.
introducing myself, what we do, how we do, and then probably understand a bit more, and then probably see how best we can contribute from here on. So I think that was broadly the thought and the understanding. Very good evening, good morning, good afternoon to all those people present here globally and the esteemed members of the global chambers. I am Milind Anvekar, and I come to you from a beautiful coastal state of Goa, India, with over 20 plus years of experience, industry experience. I currently serve as a Senior Vice President for Support Operations and Professional Services at Open Destinations. We are a travel technology company headquartered in London. And we are deeply rooted in Goa and been operating from Goa for since 2005. We are today having a strength of around 700 plus people working from Goa and serving a lot of travel agents, tour operators globally. So I think for us to being able to do that consistently for all these hours from here from Goa, I think was something that we go back and see that okay, we never really thought that would be possible for us to scale to the heights we did from Goa, but as that did happen, and I think that also resonates with the story of the IT scenario in the state of Goa. My core expertise lies in operational cost management, automation, enhancing customer support experiences, improving product quality, and critical art of leading and inspiring teams. I feel that's also very important in today's times. So I think yes, that's basically what my core expertise come from. I'm not just a corporate executive. I'm also deeply committed to building the vibrant technology ecosystem of my home state. I'm a founding member, current executive member, and also an immediate past president of the Goa Technology Association. We call it GTA. It's an association of all IT companies and startups in the state of Goa. And during my tenure as a president of the association, I can just think about a few key things that I think I could contribute to the association. And I felt in the context of the meeting today, it might be important to be able to share some of that. And I think as a president during the time I served, I'm proud to say that we achieved almost 95% renewal rate. We increased the membership by 35%, and we tripled our revenues during the 2 years of time that I had the association. I was instrumental in drafting Goa's IT and startup policy, and has been a strong advocate of ease of doing business, best practices to be followed there, bridging the industry academia gap, blustering data in cybersecurity. I think that's something very important in the context of the times we are in. My passion for fostering innovation extends beyond GTA. I am a trustee at Vibrant Goa Foundation. It's again a not-for-profit association which is focused in terms of promoting entrepreneurship and also exports. I had the privilege of chairing both the knowledge series of Vibrant Goa in 2019, and recently we under my chairmanship, we did a global tech summit, first of its kind that event that happened in Goa. And I think that was basically a foundation that we wanted to lay for about to look in terms of how the technology is changing the entire space for the new age jobs that are going to get created, how the technology needs to be adopted by businesses, and how we can stay ahead of the race. I think those were the kind of touch points that we wanted to focus on during that session. And we picked up some of the core areas as a focus areas, which meant automation, which meant 3D printing, AI, cybersecurity, AR, VR. And I think that basically gave perspective for many people to look at how the times are changing and how they need to be ahead of the race. My other interesting event that's really I want to mention here is that we are now gearing up for Amazing Goa 2024, which is again a version of Vibrant Goa 2019 that we have done. Again, a landmark event which is centered on entrepreneurship and exports, and that's a big key focus for us. And definitely, I think Chamber has an opportunity to be partnering for such an event that's coming up in the state of Goa. My personal interests lie in cutting-edge technology, artificial intelligence, automation, robotics, cybersecurity. I also actively mentor startups, helping them scale and refine their processes. I also serve on various committees of Goa University and many of the local colleges, nurturing the next generation of tech talent. I'm here today because I believe in the power of collaboration to drive positive change. And I'm eager to share my experiences, learn from you all, and explore how we can collectively create a more prosperous and innovative future for our respective regions. Right. So I think that's what I had for today to get going. Thank you so much. In case you have any specific questions, feel free to ask. I'm happy to answer. And looking forward to contributing the best way I can as a part of the advisory team here.
Thank you, Milind. That was really excellent. And with your vast experience and with all the upcoming events we have already discussed, I'm sure we, with Global Chambers presence, be able to, create our, the chapter will be able to create the presence itself and do some good initiatives and do collaboration. So I'm very sure of that. So any questions from anybody? We, as a team of Goa chapter, will be very much there to answer.
I have a quick question. I had actually found the Vibrant Goa 2035 vision online, and I posted it in the chat. Milind, is that the product that your team came up with? And could you maybe give us a little more context on the process that was used by the group? How much time was spent on it, and what were your main takeaways from that exercise?
Vibrant Goa 2035 is what you're referring to?
Yes. Or is that what you were talking about? Was that the initiative, or was it something else?
No. So Vibrant Goa 2035 is a different initiative by the government of Goa. That's basically with a long-term vision as to how do we see the state of Goa evolving over a period of time. It's a roadmap for a state of Goa, which are the key sectors that we want to really focus on to, and how do we do that. What we wanted to do was, in a small state of Goa, in the year 2018-19, the thought process was aligning to the central leadership of promoting entrepreneurship and exports. We wanted to see how we could probably extend the businesses in Goa to explore the exports market, right? How do we promote entrepreneurship in a state of Goa? So with that thought process, we then looked at some of the initiatives of other states that were successfully doing that. And then we picked up the model of Gujarat, which was then running a Vibrant Gujarat model, through which it was trying to attract investments. It was trying to promote exports. Goa is a very small state in terms of being able to actively promote for investments. But then there is a lot of opportunity in a place like Goa to explore export opportunities, increase the number of people who are then attracted towards innovation, towards entrepreneurship. And then how do we give them the right channel to do so? So with that thought process, we said, let's go ahead and do Vibrant Goa 2019 edition, right? And then we did a couple of good things there. One, we tried to reach out to the various segments, sectors of Goa, and also the self-help groups, which are the women entrepreneurs, the local vendors that are there, to see how we could probably create value at every point within the value chain that we wanted to build, right? So that was what we looked at. We initiated another program, which is called a Student Buddy program, wherein we identified quite a lot of students who were interested in businesses, and we got them to buddy with quite a lot of international and national delegates, which came down to the state of Goa. So we hosted around 300 plus delegates, international delegates during that time. So we partnered the students, aspiring entrepreneurs, people looking for opportunities, to be basically along with those delegates for those 3-4 days that were down here in Goa. That was a well received initiative, I would say, and a very successful one, because at the end of the event, 3 of the students actually got job offers overseas. And I believe almost 15 of them got internship opportunities with some of the businesses, right? And I think that was very well appreciated. So we are committed to looking in terms of involving the youth, making sure that they are involved in such activities. We feel it brings a lot of excitement, energy, and value to the ecosystem. We want to make sure that we continue getting every business person, businesswoman in this particular space to basically be part of it. And I think just to add to it, last year we did Vibrant Goa Inspiration Awards. That was to celebrate the successes that we had post the 2019 event, because many of them actually started exports. Many of them actually became very good in their own entrepreneurial businesses that they had initiated. So that definitely did help us a lot. Um, since it was the first event, though, there were quite a lot of learnings, I would say, for us as a team which was doing it for the first time. We had good plans, but then we all gone through a pandemic break, I would say. And then we rejuvenated in the last few, I would say around 15, 18 months of time to make sure that we come up with the next edition this year. And we have now a very strong leadership team there. We have quite a lot of industrial experts guiding us, mentoring us in terms of how do we do it. We have a very, very vibrant team of people associated with this entire event, which will make sure that we are not only looking in terms of organizing an event, but making sure that it is a result-oriented goal that we're trying to achieve. So Goa is promoting Swayampurna Goa, which is self-reliant Goa, right? They are trying to align with Atmanirbhar Bharat concept that we have. We are trying to align with the digital India initiatives that are there, right? So I think it's just making sure that we are focused on all of this, and at the same time we are then making sure that the newer generation has opportunities created within the state of Goa. We provide opportunities for people who are outside Goa to come back to Goa. So I think just to give that background, because Vibrant Goa that we did is now going to be called as Amazing Goa. The next edition is going to get Amazing Goa, and it is not directly related to the 2025 vision of the government, but it is an effort to make sure we support that initiative in order to being able to achieve that vision.
Got it.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you, Milind. That was really,
Maybe
really
Ashutosh, you want to
very
add something
insightful.
more on the vision document?
Yeah,
No, just to give Doug some comfort, some of the points we have derived into the document which I presented, and happy to share, take some kind of inputs from this vision document. Also, Milind, you'd be aware as well that the government has appointed BCG, Boston Consulting Group, now to actually look at revisioning of this document till 2047. That's the latest update which I have. Yeah, I think the moment something happens on that and some kind of re-engineering or thought process happens, we can share it with Doug and the rest of the team.
Yeah.
That would be great. We know that in Gujarat we have Shankar Damodaran, who's been involved in the process there, and it's I think, as we all know, that region has been ahead of the curve in many ways, and so to see Goa follow in those footsteps and follow some of the same processes that hopefully result in the kind of strategic planning that results in some great impacts, both short and long term, is very exciting. So congratulations on the progress there.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Doug.
thank you.
I think one more point probably I would add is in the lines of Gujarat government, and to be honest, what the central government has done is that they have created ranking parameters on the basis of ease of doing business across the country, which has created a very healthy competition amongst the state to be ranking high up the order, so that when any foreign investment comes in, so sort of they are looking at the foreign companies look at which states rank up. Of course, as you rightly said, Gujarat is amongst the top 2 or 3. Goa has also established what is called as the Goa Investment Promotion Board. It is purported to be a single window where whenever you apply for a certain land size and above, a certain investment and above, you can go through this. It's like a government body, but it has got equal representation from the government and from the industry leaders. And they meet once in a month. They evaluate the proposal, and they give all the kind of support if they feel that's going to add to the Goan economy and it's good from a Goa standpoint. So that's another initiative which the Goa government has taken.
Yeah, and if I can add to that, Ashutosh, I think quite a lot of good initiatives, I would say. We also have a startup promotion cell in the state of Goa. And I think the recent initiative there is making sure that Goa is projected as a creative capital of India, wherein a lot of creative job opportunities to be created in India, a lot of people in that creative space to be getting opportunities to work from Goa. I think it's a good high level vision wherein Goa can absolutely supplement very well as a good place to work from. So during the work from home concept or the times, we definitely picked up on work from Goa as well, and we have quite a lot of people who have moved their base to Goa during that time, and have decided to continue in Goa thereafter. So I think there's something in Goa that people are very excited about, and I think that natural benefit that we have received, I think it's just about making sure that we tap on it very correctly and use all of those good things that Goa has received in a very responsible way.
Yes, absolutely. I think it's well put. Uh, I think it gives you the work environment with all the pleasures of life. That's what Goa offers, I think, to the entire fraternity who wants to work over there. So yes, that is very rightly put. Milind, I would also request you to little bit more emphasize more on the Invest Goa program, we discussed and which you have handled earlier. So if you can talk about little more opportunities there also, it will be great.
Invest Goa, Arti, I think Invest Goa, I was not really directly involved in Invest Goa. But I think next time, as you said, I can definitely make sure that I'm able to present on the Amazing Goa. So, what we've done in terms of the Vibrant Goa 2019 and what we are doing in terms of Amazing Goa, so that all the chamber members across the world, if they feel there is a good opportunity to participate and get benefits, they definitely, I think, should collaborate. And I think as a chamber, if we are able to provide a platform for people to collaborate and create business opportunities, I think that'll be excellent. So very honestly, I may not be the right person to talk on the Invest Goa because I was not part of it directly. But I think Ashutosh, might be the right person who could potentially take this on. Ashutosh.
Yeah, I'll probably add just a couple of points on this. So, Aarti, Goa Chamber of Commerce and Industry, you're aware I'm a managing committee member there. So they were one of the co-hosts of Invest Goa. In fact, a similar program is also being organized towards the end of the year, and they are looking at having this at a much higher scale than what it was before. Again, the effort of whether it is Goa Technology Association, which Milind had pioneered and really taken it to a different scale altogether, or Vibrant Goa or Amazing Goa, it's now called, or Invest Goa. I think it's an effort from all the key stakeholders to try and position Goa as an investable destination, to showcase what Goa holds as a potential beyond the tourism, which everyone knows. That's the endeavor. So I think we can keep sharing information of these events which are held at a scale. The government is also very eager to have some prominent people, either as speakers or participants, coming in for these events. So happy to share information as I hear more from the event for this year.
Yes, yes. Yeah, thank you. And even I intend to, as you both and all the other people who will be joining us as our team members, uh, positioning Global Chambers, the Goa chapter, into all these events, do collaborations, and really grow our chapter with valuable initiatives and collaborating in the valuable events where we can position ourselves in a better way. That's what is my plan ahead, yearly plan. So yes, that's what we present, Doug, from our side.
Fantastic. Yeah, I think from a global perspective, when we look at India, to me, the two main regions that we should be looking at over the next 10 to 20 years are India and Africa in terms of population growth, economic opportunity, the potential for very significant growth. I've seen it written, and it's certainly something I've believed for many years, is that India has the potential to exceed China economically in many ways. And part of that, I think, is the decline in population expected for China, much more significant decline than India. I think the education potential. I did listen to an extended program on the BBC about India right after the election, and they talked about some of the challenges that India faces. I was a little bit surprised at how negative they were, in particular around manufacturing and manufacturing, the speed of improvement. I was a little shocked at their perspective on that. I'd be interested to hear yours. And then the other aspect of it was education and creating an education system that is more broad-based and more complete. I think all of us in other countries know that there are very many well-educated Indians that are often doctors and high-level technologists all over the world. And so that was also a little surprising. I hadn't really done much research or work or understanding of the education system. I'm wondering if either of you or both of you could comment on those two areas of future development, education and creating a stronger, maybe more equitable education system. If that's what the issue is, or if the issue is, a better education. I don't know what that would be. And then secondly, the manufacturing sector. Being someone who has been to India many times through my previous life at the DuPont company, I've witnessed some really strong, successful manufacturing companies. I've seen knowledge about manufacturing processes. I think there's clear strengths there, and I'm just wondering, what are your perspectives on what improvements still need to be made, and certainly, let us know if there's anything that we can do to help.
Milind, is it okay if I go first?
Sure. Absolutely.
Sure. So Doug, to be honest, of course, while we are speaking about the India growth story, there is no doubt that challenges still exist. For each sector, I would say, depending on the environment, in terms of the supply chain, whether it's the existence of the customers or existence of the raw material, there are different states which have done very well. And what the government also of those states have smartly done is that they have created policies and incentives which are supporting those particular industries. So to give you an example, the Make in India initiative, which the central government had announced, Gujarat is one of the states which have really been at the forefront of pushing the whole Make in India initiative, especially in sectors such as EMS, electronic manufacturing services. For example, a lot of the components of a mobile phone was manufactured in China, and India was losing a lot of this business to China. So what the government has done is that, just like the EMS sector, they have found 15 sectors where they've introduced something called as a PLI scheme, which is performance linked incentive scheme, which means that over a period of 5 to 10 years, depending on the sector, for all the units that you produce in India, you get a reimbursement of a certain amount of your costs. And this scheme has really have had great takers, whether it's the EMS sector, whether it is light engineering, whether it's textile, and slowly the government is including more and more sectors into this. So what's really happening, Doug, is that it depends on the state which wants to really be at the forefront of a particular sector and how proactive they are. So certain sectors or certain states have really taken an initiative and made the environment very conducive. But India is a very large country and it has its own set of challenges, whether it's the state government being different from the central government, whether it's their own economy and what's happening with regards to taxes and so on and so forth. So what's very important is, depending upon which product it is, a bit of an advice in terms of which is the right state to invest into, based on the whole supply chain, the ease of doing business, the ease of living. I'll connect this to one example. We recently had one Italian company which wanted to manufacture in India. And sorry, it was a Canadian company. I'm sorry. They wanted to manufacture in India, and they were into pharma control equipment. So it was very important to understand not only where are the customers sitting, but also which are the places where they can get the cameras, the light engineering, the components. They would be expecting a lot of expats to come in. So which is the best place to even stay, live. So all these factors needed to be considered before advising on which is the right state. In India, unfortunately, what happens is Delhi is always considered to be the first mover advantage. And one of the things I always advocate is the western and the southern region also holds a lot of potential. And in terms of both the environment of doing business, it's much more easier, especially for family businesses and things like that. So that's on manufacturing. So all I'm trying to say is while the government is taking a lot of initiatives, challenges do exist, which are being looked at, whether it's in terms of logistics, whether in terms of the cold storages or the cold infrastructure, road infrastructure, and so on and so forth. On the education, one thing which has recently been taken up as an initiative is India has introduced what is called as NEP, National Education Policy. This is slightly on the lines of the US education policy, though I'm not a big fan of just picking and dropping, so there'll be some challenges to it. But what this policy does is basically it allows, so of course there are a lot of things, but one important thing for me is it allows the choice of electives. So while I may be doing commerce as a stream or science as a stream, but I feel I want to take up some technology related sessions, then I can take up those sessions and gain knowledge while I'm just doing my graduation or post graduation. So one of the challenges India sees is the skill sets. And Milind, I think, can talk a lot from the IT perspective because we need to upgrade our skill sets to match the requirements of these different sectors. It's easy to say that come and invest into India, but if we don't have the supply of trained manpower, skilled manpower, there's going to be a challenge. So Digital India Mission and Skill India Mission by the central government is also in this regard, where they're trying to inculcate these programs where the students and even the employed professionals can upgrade their skills so that they are able to be a power to reckon with, so that instead of just saying that we have a great demographic profile or a demographic dividend, this demographic dividend is even richly enabled with the empowerment of the right skills which are required for the industries to settle down. So that's my 2 bits to it.
Thank you.
I think Ashutosh has rightly covered the entire aspects around these things. I think just add a few things here from a Goa perspective per se. We adopt at times things early in the cycle, and I'll talk in particular about a program called as CARES, right, which is about introducing robotic education at primary school level. So I think that's what Goa has done, the government initiative of running or introducing robotics at a primary level. It's been a good success because people are getting used to it. And I think it's very, very important. And when you do this kind of programs at that early level, you have to make sure that we create opportunities for the same students to continue on those lines in the higher education as well. So that if not done, then option is like we are not going to create the right opportunities. We are not going to get people to have those opportunities in the state of Goa and therefore explore opportunities outside Goa. So when you are introducing advanced technology related curriculum, you have to make sure that we are making a respective change in curriculums at all levels or creating opportunities at all levels. And why this is important. Now, a school student is able to do a robotics project and he's doing some amazing work. And unfortunately today, even an engineering graduate student is also doing a project which is on similar lines, right? Whereas what we expect now is that this student who has done robotics at a school level, when he goes at engineering, he definitely will not want to do something similar. He wants to do something more than that. And if you are not able to create a system which is going to take him to a next level, then we're not doing any good to him. No one will want to go a level down and learn something which he already knows. He wants to explore something new. So we have to make sure that we are creating those opportunities. Third step in this is that when you are getting something like robotics introduced at school level and creating that skill base within your within the youth that you have, the workforce that we have, but also make sure that we are able to attract that industry into the state, right? So if you're not going to be able to attract industries which require workforce who are skilled in that particular skill set, then again you are giving no option but for them to explore opportunities outside Goa, and then we complain about brain drain. So I feel when we are talking about education, it is very important that we start from the base level. We have to definitely invest in making sure that the base is very solid, technology oriented, futuristic. But at the same time, you have to make sure that when people go up the ladder, those opportunities are also created at every level so that people are excited with what they're doing and we get the right set of workforce, the right mindset to be there with us in the state of Goa or India for that matter. If that does not happen, I think all the people will start looking out for opportunities elsewhere. So that aspect is very important. Similarly, I think the focus has to be now on teachers, right? Because the new age, being a new age teacher is not easy any longer. There is a fear with them because they are forced into adopting digital technology, especially during pandemic, post-pandemic. You are moving from a normal classroom to a digital classroom. You have students who have got access to smartphones and access to Google and all sort of AI tools now, which make them smarter than teachers sometimes, or we have an external mentor giving them inputs and are more curious to learn things which are not in the syllabus. So new age teacher is going to be different, and that's going to be a big challenge for everyone as to how do we create this kind of new age teachers for us that are going to be responsible for creating a very good workforce and a very responsible citizen for us going forward. So I think from education perspective, we are bound to see some drastic changes in the way we do things, but it's not going to be easy. I think Ashutosh rightly mentioned about NEP, and I think we are going to go through a phase in India wherein everyone is going to take another 3-4 years to just settle down into this NEP till it becomes very known and comfortable for everyone. As of now, I think that's a big challenge as to how do we transition into it. Uh, but I think that is a step in the right direction. Will help us go a long way. Again, as a member of the chamber or part of this team, and I know there are various countries. There are various initiatives from the government of India and various other government-supported companies which are providing robotic-related education to students and are setting up labs for students for free or schools for free or other, very low cost. Uh, if in any of the countries, if there is a need for setting up the robotic labs in collaboration with such institutes, I can probably help in connecting those. And if that's aligned to the objectives of the chambers, we can connect to the right people, and then they can take it up from there. So I think that's one thing I thought I should probably or I can put up to the table here. And on the manufacturing front, I will just go back and recollect the discussions we had during the Global Tech Summit I spoke earlier. Uh, and it was very important for businesses to know what is the workforce of tomorrow going to look like. So, Goa being Goa and what we are doing at the different levels I spoke about, we actually dedicated a section for students to display their work. Robotics work, drones related work, AI related work that they're doing, kind of projects they're thinking, kind of product ideas that they're having. And we then invited all the industries to come and participate and experience it. To just understand that this is the kind of workforce of mine for future. These are the kind of technologies that are basically driving the industry. So if I want to survive or if I want to excel, then I need to adopt technology. I need to make sure that I am basically open to accepting a workforce which is way ahead. And therefore, I have to probably do something which is different and at least a thought process which will allow you to get going. So that was a very broad level discussion, and it was a discussion with entrepreneurs, which was very positive. Everyone received it very well and felt that I think those discussions and that thought process, or even getting them exposed or challenged on certain things that we did was of great help to them. So yes, I think you rightly picked up the two key sectors, education and manufacturing. Both are going to be very important and crucial ones for us, and both of them are going to be basically going through a lot of changes, I believe, in the next 4 or 5 years of time, and will be basically something for everyone to look out to and be ready for it.
Great, thanks. Just so much opportunity, and when I look at Goa in particular, the arts and the cultural heritage of the region, I think, portends well for the future in the sense of it'll be well set, I think, for innovation and diversity, and be able to maneuver the future economies. And so I think this is a very interesting region of India, one of the most important, I think. And so thank you both for your comments today. I turn it back over to you, RT, for any final comments you'd like to make, or anything else you'd like to say.
Aarti, you're muted.
Oh, sorry. So yes, I would like to add up here, sorry, that I'm very thankful to Ashutosh and Milind. They have really shared a lot of valuable insight and feedback comments. And Goa as a state, which we all as a team want to work prominently and bring on new opportunities and exchange a lot of opportunities with everyone here at Global Chambers. But also, they have presented a very, very accurate and precise perspective of India altogether, the growth story, as Ashutosh that with have completely reciprocated what was there on my mind, and I hope we have answered your queries, and I would ask anybody who would have any more questions in the discussions we had so far.
I had seen that Nii had raised his hand. Now I don't see the hand, so I'm not sure if the question exists.
Yeah, hello.
So,
The
yes.
question existed. Thank you very much for that, Ashutosh. Nice. Thank you for the pointing out that. Yes, I just wanted to ask a simple question. My name is Nii Sanusi. I'm from Global Chamber, Lagos, Nigeria. And I heard so much about innovation and also exports. Santosh, of course, is heavy into export, and I know that he's making inroads into Africa and the Middle East and so forth. So I just wanted to find out if the plan or the program that you have in Goa covers parts of those that catchment area, Africa in particular, because of the innovation, and as you heard Doug speak about Africa being a very key sports area to be spotlighted in the coming years and decades. I wanted to find out what your position is on that. Bearing in mind also that I am also speaking with one or two Indian entities who are outside of the Global Chamber. At least one company, I know it's from Ahmedabad, and they are looking at setting up maybe innovation centers in Africa, because they've tested some of the things that they've done in India and they see how successful it is. So I was wondering how that might pan. Also, I heard Milind talk about robotics. So it's something that I just wanted to find out on a general note and see what your perspectives are on this. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Nii, for the question. I think Doug said very rightly that the two geographies which the world is looking at right now is India and Africa. I want to make a mention that even as on today, there is one Goan family business, very large and a prominent family business. It's called as NRB. I could send you the details later. They actually, I don't remember which exact geography in Africa, but they had started a pharmaceutical manufacturing company in Africa, and the end product was more in terms of I think it was HIV related product, which they had associated with one of the African governments, and the 40% of the consumption was to be done by the government and rest was to be sold in the open market. So where I'm coming from, Nii, is Africa definitely is a market which India overall is very focused on. As I mentioned to you, Goa per se is not a very large manufacturing belt. So I do not see manufacturing too many players being interested, but I do know that when it comes to certain aspect of tourism, for example, because I believe Kenya and a few others are really doing well from a tourism perspective. So I do know of groups which will be very keen on investing into hospitality, adventure tourism, cruise tourism, and shipping. That's another sector in Goa which is very prominent. So there are lots of areas to explore. So I think once we exchange information, I'll be able to give you more insights. But Africa does remain a very important market for India and Goa as well.
Okay, I'll be happy to connect. Thank you very much, Ashtosh.
Yeah, I can just add to that. In the Vibrant Goa edition that we did in 2019, Africa was one of the partner countries. We are going to be having them again for the Amazing Goa. We did have people from Africa come down. The people who already started exporting some things, I don't have details now to share, but I know a few of them who are already working with some of the African partners. There are good opportunities for us to explore going forward as part of this event as well. And I think for what I know, I can immediately be talking about two things. One is about the robotics, which I said, if there's any need for any kind of collaboration there, I can connect. Similarly, I think cyber security is coming up in a big way, and I know another unit which is looking in terms of working with partners globally. So I can connect on those two fronts. Other than that, I think I'll share the details via Aarti and the other channels to make sure that people are aware about what's happening in Amazing Goa and how you could participate into this, either as a business delegate or as a partner country member.
That's good.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'll connect with you both on LinkedIn, and then we'll take it from there if it's okay.
Right. And though you put the document in the chat, which was on the Vibrant Goa website. Just wanted to just confirm that is the same government document which is prepared, and the person who was chairing creation of the document, Mr. Raghunath Mashelkar, he was the chairman of the Vibrant Goa 2019 edition. So he just made sure that we are making sure that we are aligning any activities along those lines. And I think now going forward we will have a new edition of that. But I think broadly what is put in there is Goa leading a way of life. That's a crux of that document which you posted in there. And I think the efforts was to make sure that we get pollution-free industries in Goa. We promote the natural resources we have, and we create a life which people want to live in a place of Goa. I think that's basically the crux of that document that we put in there, and that was basically a guideline that the chairman had asked all the members to look up to when you're building anything, and promoting the state of Goa.
Fantastic. Thank you.
So, Doug, I'll hand it over to you if anybody has any more questions, and you take it over from here.
Sure, I'd be happy to. So thank you, everybody, for joining today. Our next conversation looks like it's going to be probably July 15th, Monday, July 15th at the same time. Let's see if it's on our calendar physically. I don't see it. I don't see it on the calendar, but Alisa, if you could get that up on everyone's calendar for probably the next couple of months, July and August, we'll be ready. Manoj Gursahani will be leading that. We're also, just for everyone's information, this week we're rolling out the GC communities, a series of WhatsApp groups. We've already been rolling them out, but this week we're rolling out the regional ones, and that will include elevating the India conversations. We've had a community of our leaders in India, and we're going to continue to grow that, but now members in India will be able to join. So we're looking forward to adding that. We have a meeting, I think, in about 2 or 3 hours, and we'll be mapping out the rollout of that. So watch this week for more information about that. RT, thank you for leading us today. So sorry that you've been without full ability to be mobile. But I understand one more week and you'll be free to walk around and be able to travel again. So sorry to hear about your accident and looking forward to having you back physically.
Yes, I will. And thank you for offering this platform. Thank you for allowing me to invite my members out here. And thank you, Ashutosh and Milind, for an excellent talk over here and sharing all your information and for all your support. And I'm really, really looking forward as a team, all of us, in fact, you, me, Milind, and all the others who will be joining to take the Goa chapter to another level. So thank you so much. And again, I'll be able to. And Jadad, there is one question from my side, the community group which you mentioned just now. So are we going to also involve our members in the community group? We can include their numbers also. We can do that.
Yeah, so there'll be two separate groups. They'll still remain the leader group, and then there'll be another group with all of us, the leaders and the members together. So that's forming this week. So watch more. So Milind and Ashutosh will be able to participate in there. I thought both of you gave some really excellent shares today. The conversation was just at an elevated level from your background and your knowledge and your experience. So thank you very much for sharing today. It means a lot. Look forward to working with both of you.
Yes, same
Absolutely,
here.
our
Thank
pleasure.
you.
Absolutely.
Take care,
Thank you.
everybody.
Take
Have
care.
a great
Thank
rest
you.
of your week.
See you all.
Take care.
Yes.
Wish you the same.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Bye, everyone.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye.
Thank you.